Welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you're having a very good day. If you do like my content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. It is highly appreciated. Now, in previous videos, I've discussed about YouTube influencers and Twitter influencers and basically how they screw people around in cryptos and in meme stocks. And the way that they are basically pumping either coins after they already ran or coins that they own that they run in order for the following to buy so they can exit. I've explained all of that. For example, the guys, when the addresses and the names linked to those addresses, which match some influencers during Celsius bankruptcy, right? In which those influencers were pumping Celsius to their following while they were withdrawing millions of dollars in cash at the same time. Now, what I want to speak about today is a bit different because I don't think these people are scammers, but actually they tend to have to provoke more damage than even the intentional scammers. I'm talking about people like Peter Schiff, Harry Dent, Rogers, Jim Rickards, so on and so forth. So people that are predicting the end of the world on a monthly basis. And some of them are worse than others. And I would like to give you the example of one guy who's called Harry Dent. Now, if you listen to him and you don't have let's say, if you're not trained in the space and particularly on how this world of marketing and finance combined work, his theories actually on the surface make a lot of sense, and this is the dangerous part. Now he says things like, I predicted the 2008 financial crisis 20 years in advance. Now what shocks me is that nobody asks him, oh, you did? So why did you wrote a book called The Roaring 2000s in 1999? By the way, 1999, 2009, the stock market was actually down, and this guy wrote The Roaring 2000s, like if it was going to explode. And then 2004, and then 2006, he predicted Dow Jones 40,000 by 2010, and the NASDAQ by 20,000 NASDAQ by 2010. And we are in 2023, and we still didn't see NASDAQ 20,000 or Dow Jones 40,000 today, let alone 2010. So what shocks me, my question would be, because I cannot find anything of him on YouTube predicting the financial crisis, what shocks me is why nobody asks him, but how were you writing about the stock market going to these crazy heights if there was going to happen, if a global recession, which was going to mimic the Great Depression of 1929, was going to happen at the same time? So how can these two things happen at the same time? Nobody asks it. Then, if you just search on YouTube, this is all public on YouTube, and you go back to 2009, I'm talking about March 2009, October 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 13, 14, 15, you name it, and it continues. He predicts a huge crash every year, and in many cases, more than once a year. There are interviews on YouTube of him advising people to short the stock market in 2009, when the S&P was around 800 something dollars. Think about it. The S&P is $4,500. He was advising to short at that moment. 2020, if you go, he had a debate with Peter Schiff, where he was advising people to go buy TLT, the bonds. TLT was 170 during that interview. It is now around 100, 102, whatever. So this is the level of distraction. And then every year is the same story, which is, we didn't crash now, but maybe we have a little bit up, maybe 10, 15% to go, and then we're going to crash. And then every time there's any kind of sell-off, oh, this is the crash confirmed as we predicted, here it is, predicted the crash. And then when we start to get new all-time highs, I say, look, the markets are on crack, there are a lot of QE, the governments, blah, blah, blah. But maybe we have one leg higher. Maybe we have one leg higher and that's it, it's gonna fall down. And he has been saying this since, the latest video on YouTube, since 2009, okay? And what I'm trying to say is, by the way, he also had a fund in between that managed to launch and be delisted in 2 years. That's how bad the performance was, so bad that it got delisted in 2 years. And they created a new fund in Australia, which the performance is also terrible. So I wouldn't be surprised that in a couple of years is out. Now, I actually believe that he's really convinced of what he's saying. And I do think that to some degree he's a very smart guy. But the problem is that the people that invite him to these shows, they're always very passive with him and they never ask him these questions. But by the way, you predicted this since 2009. How is your short S&P since October 2009 going on? This kind of stuff. And the problem is people that come in the space, because he speaks with so much passion and aggression, it's easy to get convinced if you don't do the homework. And at least, for example, me, I tell you, I'm not a financial advisor. I come here to give you my opinion, look at the facts, you go look at the facts that I'm pointing out, you make your mind. I really don't care. You don't even know what I'm invested right now. You know that I invest in crypto, but you don't even know exactly what. But for this guy to be speaking with so much confidence, this guy has thousands of followers. He wrote multiple books about the Great Depression of the 2010 to 2020. He said things like, if this doesn't happen in 2 years, I'm going to move to Australia and become a limo driver. If this doesn't happen in 2 years, stop listening to me. And then he just comes in and says, oh yeah, no, it's going to be in 2023. Now it's going to be 2024. I can tell you in 2024, it's going to be 2025 and 2026. And until it happens. But what is the value of this? If I come here and I say there's going to be a huge stock crash in 3 months. Oh, it didn't happen. Next 3 months I come in and I say the same thing. Oh, next 3 months. Oh, it didn't happen. And I do this over and over and over. Eventually, there's going to be a crash. And then I say, ha, you see, I'm so smart. I predicted everything, right? But it's a bit like me saying, look, are you playing the lotto? Pick number 50. Pick number 50. And I tell you this over and over. Eventually, number 50 comes out and I say, ha, look, you see, I'm a lotto specialist. I'm just a king. And the reason why these things bother me quite a bit is because people that follow his advice over the last years have gotten completely destroyed. But you see, he sells the books, he goes on TV, he goes on YouTube shows, he has his own YouTube channel, which pays him ad revenue for sure. I imagine, maybe it doesn't, but I would assume that he has enough subscriptions and view time for sure to be monetized. While you guys listening to him, and I'm not picking on him, I could use other people as an example, and I will in the future. But if you would follow what he's saying, you are now destroyed. He gets paid anyways. He gets paid for managing funds, he gets paid on appearances, he gets paid on his books. He doesn't care, but you get destroyed. So what I'm trying to say is, when you see people making these huge claims of market crash in 3 weeks, market crash in 5 weeks, and so on, and the thing, it preys in human basic instincts. We hate fear. We hate uncertainty. We are pessimistic by nature, which means that we tend to pay attention to the negative possibility much more than the positive one. And you have certain people who predict crashes every year, and predict tops every year, and predict the collapse of everything every year, and they are always wrong. People that listen get completely annihilated. They get paid. They don't care. And these things really bother me. And one of the reasons why I created this channel is because I've seen so many people destroyed by reading the comments or because of situations like this, that I really wanted to put it on the spotlight. Now, again, I just quoted things that are written publicly. Or you go to YouTube, if you don't believe me, type Harry Dent 2009, May 2009, or whatever. Listen, it's on YouTube. Just listen. And then you tell me how accurate it is. But the point is, because interviewers don't push him enough, he gets to say the same stories. If you listen to the speaking patterns of now, they are exactly the same they were 10 years ago or 11 years ago. And nothing of what he said has happened. And people, because some people are, maybe they are 20 years old now. Maybe they are starting to listen. It's, oh my God, it's going to be a huge crash, I need to do this, they're completely annihilated, basically. And we just keep on doing this. And this is the things that I fight against. And yeah, sorry, this kind of topic, it really bothers me because I've seen so many people, paying the price for this. And I really hope that at least, if one of you listen to me, that be very careful with these doom and gloomer predictors that the world is ending tomorrow, everything. Because if someone tells you that the world is ending every month, even when they are right, was it really valuable? And by the time that you get there, probably you're already destroyed. And don't forget about this quote on Wall Street, because it's very true. More people have lost more money preparing for recessions and crashes than the actual crash. Think about it. More people have lost more money preparing for a crash than the crash itself. So think about it, guys, and don't forget, be critical every time you listen to this kind of wazoo predictions. Don't buy or sell based on what these people say. Go do your research. Go search how accurate this person is, how not accurate that person is, and you don't fall for this kind of stuff. Okay, guys? So thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one.